Hey, it is Saturday, March 16th, 2019. And this is just an update. I came back from Louisiana, spent a couple of days in Kansas with my best friend Vicky, and came home on Wednesday. Coming home, most of the creeks and rivers and ponds and lakes were overflowing. In fact, when I got to Wahoo, Nebraska, one of the creeks was flowing over the road. We had 3 inches of snowpack, and most of that melted with rain. And the rivers, because we live in between two rivers that both feed into the Missouri, had ice jams, and those ice jams chewed up the levee system. And the town that I live in, which is Fremont, Nebraska, is surrounded by floodwaters, and we're cut off. You can't get north. You can't get south, but it takes you a couple of hours out of any way you're trying to go, at least. You can't go east or west. About a mile from where I'm sitting right now, there are floodwaters, and about 8 miles in the other direction, there's floodwaters. Last night at 3 a.m., one of the biggest levees for town broke, and my in-laws got a rude awakening. They didn't really heed the voluntary evacuation order, and the levee did break. And my parents have water in their basement. My in-laws have water in their basement. Thank the Lord that we do not at this time, but there are many, many people. We had a hurricane force storm that came through right before I came home, and there's just destruction everywhere. I put feelers out for volunteer work, and I am not really physically capable of doing sandbagging, but that's what they're calling for right now, even though I think it's kind of a moot point. But Romans 9:28 said that we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called by his purpose. And if he wouldn't have brought me home when he brought me home, I probably wouldn't have gotten home. I thank him. I'd really like to tell you about all the wonderful things God did while I was in Louisiana. But right now, there's so much going on. Right now, we're sitting in front of a cell phone store. My stepdaughter and her boyfriend came for spring break to visit. And with the flooding, they stayed at my in-laws. The flooding, he dropped his phone in the floodwater, and his car is stuck, maybe dead. So we're trying to get him a new cell phone so at least they can talk to professors and work and stuff and have some contact. It's just been a lot. I packed up boxes to feed them. We offered them space at our house, but everybody's staying at my brother-in-law's. My sister's in-laws may lose their house, I don't know. The rivers rose so fast and have taken over so much. The creek behind my house is probably 22 feet deep from top to bottom, but normally runs about ankle to calf deep, and it was 2 feet from the top, and the frozen ground is the only thing that kept it from flooding our basement, so we've been greatly blessed. You can't get to my church from town. The rivers went over the bridges. We've seen pictures of bridges that are gone. The water came up so fast that it just washed the bridges away. My daughter works in Omaha, and they said it might be 5 days before she can come home, and the company she works for have provided her with a hotel room and a little bit of money for clothes because she's going to be stuck for a while. I just beg that you would pray for people in Nebraska and Iowa. We are not making the national news with everything that's going on with the mosque shootings and stuff, and it's not a big city, so they don't pay attention. But there is a devastation all around us. And I just want to, again, ask that you would pray for our city, pray for our state, pray for Nebraska and Iowa. And I love you. So, thanks.